Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. This is Gap of Rohan. Thanks for sending me this replay. I was assured there is no desync. I hope you didn't lie to me. It's one of the most annoying things that Kyle and Sheriff said, and as well as I have experienced. Hate to talk to somebody for 30 minutes and realize that nobody's going to hear it. But this map, it's kind of replaced Therma on FAF, which I think is great. It's the map where some of the newer players go. And even if you're new, you still have no excuse not to go to the middle to get this mass. And that's oftentimes how you can spot a noob. You can see a lot of these players know you got to get to the middle, get the mass. If your allies don't go with you, you might just find yourself up against multiple ACUs and then you quickly die. And of course, chain reactions oftentimes happen on this map. It's a fairly fun map to play, I must say, but I've wanted to catch so many games, but desyncs on this map happen so many times. I think newer players don't exit through the score screen as often as some of the more veteran players. Alright, before action gets on the way, I wanted to say, to promote the game and to clarify it, as this game is very different from all the other games. It's one of the reasons I choose to cover it. I guess kind of obsessively, you could say, but that's what I do. And the reason I do it is I believe that it can be on the level of chess. Maybe you'd need to wait 1,000, 2,000 years for it to get there. But this game is so different, so unique, that I doubt it's actually going to ever be remade, because there's no incentive for somebody to remake this, because it's not that popular. Maybe if it got very popular somehow, which I don't think it actually ever will, then somebody would want to remake it. But as it stands, it is the pinnacle of real-time strategy, of this corner of real-time strategy. And it's really up to people to let people know. So kind of the reason I make these videos, and the reason I go on random forums like Team Liquid and Steam forums and actually post something where people discuss, or people are discussing real-time strategy, you gotta let people know that this should be part of the conversation. That's the point. This game needs to be in the conversation whenever real-time strategy is mentioned. That doesn't mean that you need to bash other RTSs, because that's completely... that doesn't help anybody if you just bash, because yeah, nobody's gonna listen to you. But just mention it and say it is out there and it exists, and clarify a lot of the misconceptions that are there. So I guess hopefully that's clear to people, that hopefully people actually choose to do that, because you actually have a lot of power. You're in a very unique position to actually help and become part of history. That's what I wanted, to become a part of history and continue to live on. Suicidal and Super this, man, IJS, I have no idea how to read that. But 2v2, very unusual that only half the ACUs made it to the middle, but there is going to be assistance from someone from Australia. This is white, second air. So far what we're seeing is some throttle action here. Second air seems to be the standard. And in terms of mass, looks like without too much shooting, usually I see a lot more action here in the middle. Very quick upgrade, and this is going to be Tech 2. Right, I'd love to see Suicidal help out Super this. Hey, that's Jay's messing with my mind. Also on this map, never neglect these little paths. You can start a battle, you can put cruise missiles and stealth and stuff like that on here. Drops on this map also very potent. But so far what we've seen is both teams kind of split up the mass. Let's actually look at this reclaim numbers. Power stall for Super is 2200. His ally Suicidal's got 1600. They were faced by Gerbaum, who seems to be fresh off the boat, 400 rating, 1700. We got low flying Swallow, 1300. So overall it seems like a little more mass for the left side. The right side had two ACUs, Lordhoff, who didn't show up, let his allies fight for the mass, as well as Solar Flare. Actually, Solar Flare didn't make it. But will this be a decking competition, which often happens on this map, or will we see Tech 2-point defense creeps? Will we see drops? And actually, whenever you see games where the ACUs leave the base alone, the base becomes very vulnerable to NG drops. You can do an NG drop to get an RD drop, and actually take over a base, which really sucks because that's where most of the mass has gone into. At 5 minutes, I mean, these players have already used a few thousand mass. And if you just erase that, that would not be good. Artie against Super, trying to get 2 PDs. This is good denial here, denial and error. But I think Tech 2 PDs will eventually be completed. Oh, Super. This is where bombers really help out. See scouts. You want to bomb those Arties. Single flyover will kill them. Unlike tanks where you need 2 separate drops. So far, besides the Tech 2 PDs in the middle on this Artie, hasn't been too much action, but I have patience. Tech 2 Air coming up for Suicidal, and Tech 2 Air for Aeon means Mercies could be in the near future. This is such a futile. Super, you need to kill these. Oh yeah, some help now from someone from Australia who gets hit by his allies, T2 PD. Looks like everybody's here got T2 on their ACUs. And your race bet. I'm always afraid of reading people's names wrong, but I guess that's alright. I've done it so many times. That's a big wall. Let's see how long it takes Lord Hoff to actually break through that. And if he does, this is completely exposed. There is Tech 2 land. Rhinos. A couple of Rhinos could take care of that force. But I gotta say, the left side got more mass so far, and they have a much stronger position in the middle. We got shields and T2 PDs. And I'd love to see some TMDs, maybe some cruise missiles, because cruise missiles from this position, absolutely deadly. And actually, this is one of the maps where cruise missiles are absolutely potent, which makes UAF and Aeon, especially UAF, quite weak. You usually want to get an ally to give you a Tech 2 engineer, make some TMD. Especially if your enemy goes with ACU missiles, which are a little more potent. And, well, Tech 2 flak. This is very expensive Tech 2 flak. I would not make that your race bet. So what's the plan for the right side team? In order to break through this, probably either want to get Tech 3. At the Tech 2 stage, you would need to spam a lot of MMLs. Wall is slowly disappearing. And we can see now Super building up a force. So a lot of energy expended here by Lord Hoff to try to break through. And now, Artie. Tech 2 Artie, quite expensive. But that could actually start. Oh, and Tech 2 Artie from both sides. This is like Supreme Commander Vanilla. In Vanilla, this is one of the most popular units. It hasn't really been featured too much since then. But it has been making a slow comeback, maybe. But it's really a fun unit to build. Man, this guy, Tech 2 stationary flag everywhere. This is a very expensive unit. I like mobile Tech 2 flag better. Tech 2 air, we got Tech 2 transports, perhaps some drops. And interesting. Oh, I'd love to bomb that. That's a lot of power storage planned for solar flare. As we are seeing the MMLs from Swallow. And first signs of drops. I will now slow this down because I think we're going to see a little more action. Here, Tech 1 and Tech 1, this Tech 2 support units need to respond. Also Tech 2 now from Lord Hoff. And will this be a successful drop? A little dangerous. That's where the Tech 2 transport will get you. Just in time. And no protection whatsoever. This will do some damage. No splash on this. But see how quickly those engines die. So Split will add ACU for Solar Flare should take care of the problem. But Solar Flare will lose at least a couple Tech 2 mass ejectors in the middle. The battle still continues. A few TMDs now put up. So this base from Super, it is a very good looking base. This rock needs to be reclaimed. Just free mass sitting there. And MMLs. Aeon MMLs. So I believe one of these missiles does about 600 damage. It's actually I like this unit in battles where you have two. Oh, while I'm talking, there's a massive assault not going in on the bottom, but I think this Tech 2 force, which has been built up for a long time now, yeah, no problem. But there was no reason to have the battle here when you can have had the battle there. A couple Tech 1 mass extractors were destroyed. But look at this, absolutely devastating arty. And these are all Tech 2s. So far the best piece of offense had come from Suicidal, who is playing a lot better than his 900 rating. And suddenly the shield goes down. And upgrading at Tech 2, you have shield to Tech 3, that's a very expensive proposition. Yeah, so far this is looking pretty good. So much TMD and T2 PDEs from someone in Australia. Oh, this actually some damage here. Quite a few of these TMDs have gone down. Suicidal getting resource allocation in a very dangerous spot. But no Tech 3 yet. I think the next piece of action should come from Tech 3. Look at all this stuff that has been destroyed. Ooh, Tech 3 Air had to be paused for solar flare. Yeah, losing a couple Tech 2 PGens will force you to pause your Tech 3 Air production. And here, it looks like Jerbaum here, not too much help from his allies. He's actually going to abandon, I think, this position. Shields will go down. But I think it's always nice to support these kind of battles with RDs, both Tech 1 and Tech 2 MMLs. You can really shift. This is a very vulnerable position. This is where moving in with your force would really help. And another thing, I guess now these are both Tech 2. So two Cyberns across from each other. And look how long it's been taking. Oh, your race to fix. And it looks like two HQs. Don't want to do that. You want to build a support factory instead of a second HQ, unless you want to be really safe. Just all those little things that people don't know when they first begin playing. And Corsair, so perhaps a snipe is being readied. And yeah, this is still alive, which shouldn't happen. Oh, bad shot. It's where you want to aim where there are the most units, so in case you miss, you still hit. Some straightforward things. Speed this up a little bit again. A lot of MMLs. Where is the Tech 3? So many HQs from... Do people not know about support factories? Lordhoff, come on. I don't understand. And now finally somebody's got Tech 3. Tech 3 land from someone in Australia who has got a whole bunch of trebuchets. And trebuchets will completely shift this battle. The right side will need to retreat, although we're also seeing the Aeon Serenity. Ooh, and the Aeon Serenity's got there a little quicker than the trebuchet. Serenity, very good accuracy. You can see the impact of Tech 3 Arty. This base is going to fall. And yeah, with these MMLs, now the right side actually making a pretty good case for pushing back. This is a nice Tech 3 shield though, finally completed. So far, not too much action in this one except that drop and basically a standoff, which is now transitioning to the Tech 3 stage. We're also seeing bricks from someone in Australia. Brick drop would be really nice. And these units of freight to make the next step. Go ahead, go through the gap. Yeah, Cyber and MMLs, they will overwhelm your TMD. It looks like that shield is down, at least temporarily. Another drop being ready. This one's got RD together with some flak. Ooh, it's going to be a triple drop. Suicidal sitting on double resource allocation. He's leading this game in terms of power production. And now the trebuchet is beginning to make an impact. 10 kills in that trebuchet. Serenity with 1 kill. Oh, and here comes the drop. This, I guess it worked once, might as well do it again, but this time with a Tech 2 stage, together with some flak and a whole bunch of obsidians. Now this force, it'll be difficult to stop. There is a Tech 3 PD here. I don't know if it's going to be finished in time. But yeah, this is what the obsidians will give you. All these Tech 1 tanks, they will disappear very quickly. Also Tech 3 air from solar flare. And the first experimental, we see a spider. I don't know if depends where it's gonna be sent. I think if it's sent in the middle without any support, the left side team, if they work together and they overcharge at the same time, you could kill a spider. And actually I Tech 3 PD in a very strange position here, but it is there and it is killing units. I think it needs to be primaried here. Meanwhile, there's also Brick, which has snuck in, facing a Harvey, also getting hit by a Spider from long range. I think that made just enough difference. Spider now, I think, maybe in a position to get the first kill. Someone in Australia working on a Tech 2 mass extractor. You gotta run, dude. You gotta run. Spider, of course, has stealth, and there's a lot of shields. Nope, not enough shields. First player to die is someone in Australia. I don't wonder if they're playing with Give or not. If they're not, that means Suicidal's going to get a double base. And the Spider continues to roll. Your race, I think he's going to die as well. Alright, so that Spider seems to be on its way to win the game. So far it's bypassed Super, who just pretended not to be there. The Spider is going to go in and kill his base instead. And looks like they are playing with Give, which makes the situation a lot more interesting for the left side. Now Suicidal is going to have a huge economy. He's the beneficiary of all these units. And Suicidal is the player who is the most safe, sitting back at home. Strats being produced, 59 kills. And a couple of mercies here would really help. This is where micro the Spider would be critical. And actually some air support maybe. Where's the air support? There are ASF from Solar Flare. He needs to come in. He is actually there. And critical veterancy, killing all of them. P-gens. Oh, where are all the red ASF? Did they disappear? Oh, that's kind of sad. Can't believe Super is still alive. Should be dead. Let's see if they're playing with the shared unit cap. 500 units. This is crazy. There's a 500 unit cap in this game, which will make it extremely difficult for Suicidal. I haven't seen a 500 unit cap in a very long time. I think that's something that should be removed from the game. You should not have less than 1,000 unit cap. It really makes things difficult if you want to play right. Looks like a donut is planned eventually for low flying. However, Suicidal now with air control and a whole bunch of strats. And with this many strats, I think, well, at least he could for sure defend anything that's coming against him. And now a snipe attempt. Cruise missiles from Solar Flare is supersized. Pay attention. Doesn't really matter. He's got a huge shield here. It'll get knocked down, but it will protect him enough. A single missile will hit him, which means he's got to run. So the Tech 3 shield has saved him. Second time he survived. His ACU is stuck on the fool on the hill. Oh, day after day, alone on a hill. He's got a foolish grin, and he's standing perfectly still. And the Spider didn't notice him, because he knew that he was just going to stand there. So far, these T2PDs have been very potent. They've stopped this flow of units from Lord Hoff. Lord Hoff has got a lot of spiders planned. He's still working on a whole bunch of HQs. The donut is started. It's very dangerous to start a donut when you don't have air control, but and not a lot of build capacity on this air factory from Solar Flare. There is also no Tech 3 air from Gerbaum, who has a megalith who's going to come in, but without air support, that megalith could be in a bit of trouble unless all this flak from the rest of his teammates help out. This is how you get a fool off a hill. You give him a tech to transport and an air cover. Oh, nice. So nukes, anything like nukes? Not seeing it. I think Lordhoff, he doesn't have any. He's got a couple Tech 3 AAs. Well, actually, he's got a few. Yeah, never mind. I want to take that back. I wanted to say you could probably snipe him with all these strats, but no, he's got quite a few Tech 3 AAs. I think in one. Oh yeah, the Megalith thinks twice. In one pass, he might have a chance to kill him, especially if he stands next to a Tech 3 Pigeon, but he might just dodge. Ooh, is he going to drop in time? The fool, you need to drop off quicker. Oh no. What? He turned at the last moment. Solar Flare, let the fool live. The Megalith thinks the second time, maybe. Has to stand just far enough. Ooh, that was cruise missiles helping out. So good work from that Megalith, not jumping in, just using its range. There's also an Omni there, almost finished, that gets destroyed. Whole bunch of strats being readied by Suicidal. Suicidal has both Cybern and Aeon Tech 3 Air, which means he can use stealth strats, which he's actually put on stealth now. He can also make restorers. And I don't know if that donut's a good idea. I think in this type of situation you need... Oh, look at this wave of strats. Yeah, it'll cause you to turn tail and run. The best move the Cyberns can do. And didn't turn tail and run fast enough. Restorers also moved in. This is so much air, I think this game is over. Suicidal needs to win. This is a mistake though. You don't want to fly your resties over all this flak. This is where actually strats, if you select all this flak and hit it with strats a few times, then you can go ahead and with the restorers. Otherwise it's just painful to watch. We are seeing anti-nukes. I'm actually going to speed it up just a little bit. One thing about Suicidal, he actually doesn't have a huge air superiority, so he could be in a position to lose air. So I think he's actually got more strats than ASF. So if the right side just spams air, wins air back, kills all the strats, he might be in a better position, especially if then they finish the donut. Yeah, drops are always a good idea on this map, especially when you're playing with 4 against 1 or 4 against 2. Drops are very good because that you should have a much higher APM than the other side, theoretically. Multiple spiders. This is a big spider spam. These need to sneak around. They are stealthy. Although these spiders would die to these strats so quickly that unless it's a sneak attack, it is not going to work. And looking at the ecos, you can see the massive difference in power. Suicidal has so much more power than the rest of all these players. He's basically carrying... Well, he's got a single ally here. The fool on the hill was working on an anti-nuke. But the power production is really kind of... limits how much air you can produce. Still some Tech 2 mask ejectors for Lordhoff, minute 32 of this game. Awesome, juicy, very juicy map. This is some rovers from Solar Flare. Good move to grab that mass. It's actually something we could look at here. Suicidal sitting on 28,000 reclaim. Jerbaum a mere 2,600. He's got 17,000 in the bank. What could he do with the 17,000? Probably reclaim all those Tech 2 Pigeons and replace them with Tech 3s. He's working on an anti-nuke really hard. He definitely needs more power. And here comes a donut. Low flying swallow. It's got a donut, and I hope low flying swallow doesn't just throw it away, because that would be a big shame. I think that's what's going to happen. The spiders are rolling in, but they're he threw a donut at a megalith. And overall, this is a fairly big assault now, followed up by a bunch of spiders. So what we're saying is basically air versus land. And air is going to win. There's also this GC, which bought the air a lot of time. If you're gonna attack with all these spiders and all these units, you gotta have an air force. Or you want to have a wall, like 200 flak with you. So what has basically happened is the left side received a huge amounts of mass from the right side. That was what happened. The second donut will be constructed. And let's see, low flying swallow here, 56, solar flare, 33,000. So solar flare, yeah, that was that megalith that he was reclaiming. The wave continues, but these resties, they'll stop anything. You can see a lot more power. The power continues to go up, although Jerbaum now also has been building up power, so he could be in a position to compete in the air game. We'll see how quickly Suicidal sends out his engineers. The thing about Suicidal, does he have UEF? His ally has UEF. This is where those drones are very good. And overall, looking at Suicidal's base, he does not have too many engineers. I like to have a couple factories producing Tech 1 engineers for situations like this, where they're just always running in, grabbing this mass as quickly as possible. Although Harbies will do the job for you. You can see Suicidal now. His income is 800. He's got 45,000 reclaim. He's got 45,000 in the bank. And given that he's got air control, if he makes a donut, I think he could make a donut end somebody's game. But what we're seeing is Jerbaum throwing away ASF. Why? And yeah, Suicidal needs to learn that it is suicidal to send restorers against flak. And a big wave of cruise missiles. I'm not sure where those are going to be flying in. They almost hit that GC in the face, and it's kind of a waste. I think each missile is about 200 mass, so 5 of them is about 1,000 mass that hit nothing. That's a lot of mass just being thrown at the other side. And this flak continues to provoke Suicidal's air. And it looks like the right side is trying to provoke the fight to try to fight over this detective flag. I don't know if it's having too much of an effect. But you can see GCs everywhere for Suicidal. He will eventually, I don't know when he'll actually attack, but he's got more planned. Something like 4 GCs together with air control. Run everything over, and this game should be over. Unless something else happens. What could possibly happen? Something crazy. There is a nuke with a missile loaded, so sniping anti-nukes is definitely a good idea. This is a very interesting unit. If Lordhoff can pull that off, although it is very vulnerable, yeah, that would die very quickly if Suicidal wanted to kill it. But if it's protected, it could end the game. Yeah, I think it's been spotted. Lordhoff asking for spare mass. See ASF being patrolled by a Jerbaum, which is almost always a bad idea. And these bases just getting filled up with units. Jerbaum, but look at the 67,000 power. Suicidal, let's see, has he hit 100,000 yet? He's at 60,000. He's at unit cap. If it wasn't for this 500 unit cap, I think Suicidal would probably already end the game. And, well, I don't really know. I think Suicidal could have ended the game regardless. Cruise missiles continue to be launched. And when you find yourself in a situation when you're up against unit cap, that's when you got to build very expensive units. You got to basically produce experimentals, and you also need a Scathus now for Suicidal, and 2 bugs. Oh man, so much firepower not being used by the left side. Another megalith thinking about attacking. And actually, this is a pretty good fight for the right side. There's a lot of flag here. At Donut, looks like Low Flying Swallow did not learn the lesson. And, oh, Megalith turned his back on a bunch of GCs. This is 5 GCs. I think these are going to run everything over. As well as a couple bugs. How do you stop 5 GCs supported by a bunch of bugs? I don't think you can. It's 41 minutes in. I think this could be the end. This is what it looks like from the point of view of Suicidal's units. The Donut, it will retreat. Will it hit the bug with a laser? Is the Scathus? Scathus is completed. You can see how high the Scathus shoots. But I don't think the Scathus will do enough to end this game. Let's see. I want to go back to regular view so I don't miss something stupid. But what we're seeing, there goes Gerbaum. This Donut's trying, but I think it's just gonna die. See some spiders from Super This, Fool on the Hill. Scathus hitting nothing. He's got 40 kills though. Is this Scathus also completed? Hasn't shot anything yet. And the Donut's dead. 4 of the GCs remain. This is where capturing these GCs would work. This is a lot of build capacity, although now, yeah, these GCs just sort of stomped on all that build capacity. They didn't care. No way out of this situation. But, you know, I've been wrong many times. Yeah, what we basically saw was Suicidal wait till he had a completely overwhelming force. Maybe when he hit the unit cap, then he just basically gave a move order to the enemy. Yeah, like 500 unit cap should never happen. Solar Flare running. A lot of Tech 3 PD. It will do damage, but I don't know if it'll do enough damage. This might actually be close. No, it's... Ooh. So 1 spider dies, 2 spider dies. These GCs also kind of low on health. I think GGs are being called. And there's also a wave of Tech 3 units cleaning up what doesn't get killed by the GCs. One thing about the GC versus Spider, the GC has longer range on the laser. However, the damage per second from the Cyber laser is actually higher. And I think Solar Flare might actually survive. That's all this Tech 3 PD. And the Scathus is still alive. Is it doing any damage? Alright, so we see a big hole in the right side face. They still have a couple. Oh, Low Flying Swallow, what are you doing? Stay away from the Tech 3 PGen. And yeah, looks like the bricks end the job. We're also seeing a Scathus for Suicidal. One of the most crazy games I've ever been on was on Gap of Rohan, where it was Scathus after Scathus. It was just freaking insane, but it had a desync. I really wanted to cast it. I want to see a game like that with no desync, but I was hoping this might be it, but it wasn't quite it. Some newer players, but actually I guess it's still going on. It's 2 versus 2. And the Scathus are operational. 91 kills. And okay, 99 kills. I should learn my lesson from the previous game where I made the cast and then it turned out I missed the ending. case people missed that. I had to re-record the ending. 22 kills on that Scathis. A lot of reclaim potential, but you can see the power income differential is just so massive. And these bricks are still alive. The spiders need to return and play some defense. If this Scathis can somehow damage something critical here, which I don't really know what it could. Such a large base with so much different stuff. Just take a long time to actually kill it. 109 kills. Maybe if it hit the ACU on accident a few times. It's funny how the graphics look here. But it looks like now it's going to get hit by air, and once the Scathis dies, I think any glimpse of hope are going to go with it. Oh, this guy might die. He's standing next to a lot of very volatile things. He's the fool on the hill standing... Oh my god. Just in time. This Scathis. Oh man. That was kind of funny. So there goes the fool on the hill. The Scathis is also dead. We have the third donut from Low Fly and Swallow. And we got a string of spiders moving towards Suicidal. Suicidal has 2 nukes. More GCs on the way. He's got a spider. 4 bases. More spiders being produced. No air production whatsoever for the right side. And now this Scathis 28 kills. Once it gets in range, it should end the game. But I want to see this donut just fly in. I mean, you've thrown all your donuts in head first. I think this might be the time to do it as well, although... Yeah, no air protection. Yeah, the flak is lagging behind. Yeah, these spiders are just being thrown in blindly here. Scathis now 28 kills. Not really sure what it's targeting. We'll see where the shells fall. See, they're just zooming straight past our face here. Yeah, they're gonna hit Swallow. And just a complete massacre of spider bots. The spider bot, see how far he can get. He got pretty far. Suicidal. Running. There goes Swallow. Wow, Suicidal. Oh, look at all this vet. Keep following. You want to kill the ace. Oh. Oh, why you gotta tease so much? That could have been interesting if you would have followed. Oh, look at all those
Strategic
shells.
launch detected.
And a nuke. And looks like, yeah, the nuke will end it. So, kind of exciting at the end. There's also this. Will Lord Hoff survive?
Detected.
Multiple nukes fired off. The donuts sneaking in. Don't tell me. Got teased twice. Oh my goodness. Suicidal, yeah, get a shield. Now it's a lot more safe. First the spider, then the donut. They only work together. And have better drivers. Spider on spider battle in the middle. And overall what we've seen is a lot more air from the left side. A lot safer gameplay. Although, let's see what actually the total reclamation numbers are. 77,000. Lord Hoff has reclaimed a total of 1 mass. Wow. That's interesting. I've never seen it before. I didn't know it was possible.
Strategic launch detected.
That's like saying I don't need mass to play this game. Spiders rolling in. Will they at least kill the Scathis? Yet another nuke. That should be that's the end of Lord Hoff's base. Does Lord Hoff have teleport? Teleport and laser? That'd be really nice here at the end. I don't think he does. And the restorers will end his 52 minutes. Pretty exciting game. Hopefully people enjoy this one.